Hello, welcome. This is going to be my review of the past week, and it's going to be more specifically about dealing with not only red days, but a red week as well, and max losing red days, where I hit, two losses. Um, so, look, I think a lot of the problems that happened this week have been sort of building up anyways. I feel like my issue with taking profits at 1R or front running that 1R target and then taking a 1R loss, which is bigger than a singular win, is a recipe for pain in the long run. Because it only took one loss or two losses for me to, just completely reverse the positive effects on my P&L curve of a good day. And that's really not a great feeling. For me, it really came down to the fear of exiting trades early, of just not wanting to lose. And because I lost so much in the past, and I think that's a good thing. Of course, you don't want to lose in trading, but it also leads to this fear whereby I was, exiting trades early because I didn't want to lose, or making extra wide stops because I thought, oh well, then my chances are lower of getting stopped out, right? Naturally so. And all of these things, I have been profitable the past 2 months, and most of the past several weeks, including several perfect weeks. But where the problem really lied is in how I dealt with my losses, how I dealt with my losers, and my fear. And this has been a problem for quite some time, where I was taking trades off at 1R or 1.1R or 0.9R or 0.8R, and they were going to 2R, 3R, 4R. And I do want to try and take advantage of that, capitalize on that, because I don't like the feeling of having a win, having a loss, and being net negative. So my winners need to be bigger. I know I can take good entries. I mean, this week says otherwise, but I know I can. And moving forward, I want to be that guy that has, one win that makes up three losses. I want that to be my general thing. I want my losses to be small. My losses aren't small relative to my wins. They're not small, and that needs to change. So look, there were a lot of fuck-ups this week. So let's get into it. And this is the hardest sort of thing to review. I mean, I've been there so many times when it's tough, when it's bad, it's always the hardest to kind of go back and reflect on. And I feel like really my problem is that I'm just afraid. I trade scared. I'm scared to lose. I'm very scared to lose. And that's fine, but then it makes me do irrational things. So Monday I had this line here, I think taken from these two pivots, which doesn't really make any sense. And structurally it was there with this little kind of holding, and I got a whatever trade. And really this would come back to bite me in the future by using these sort of micro wick tiny ass algos that with unclear structural retests. And I got this red level from here to here, pegged it here, and I was able to put that right here, nice retest. And again, I front run my exit by like 4 or 5 points. And that same candle, it comes down here. Right, which is the neckline of this level here, the red level, the blue level. And it's like, yeah, I could have like doubled my points, even if I would able to, protect it here and grab some points here. These are the sorts of things where I'm thinking, it's possible for me to do a better job of managing these winning trades, such as runners, right? Put them right above this level, and then you can get those, 2R, 3R runners on this candle. So this was an okay day. Here's Tuesday, I believe. And I have these pivots from here, right up here. Reclaim. I think I traded this using this, I believe. And we reclaim, break out, and I take profits like right at the top. And that was one of the times when front running the exit actually saved me. And then I take the most impulsive trade where I just see this candle by volume. We never go above. And this became the theme later on in the week where I was taking impulsive rush trades, something I haven't done in so long and something I felt like I was above at this point. And clearly I'm not, because I did it twice. Which is really not okay. It felt terrible taking this trade. Reduced size, one of the worst trades of 2024. No break, immediately enter on bull bar. That's really fucking important. Now you don't blah blah blah. I saw this big green bull bar, will not have it again. Really clean. This was clean. I know this yellow channel. We come back in, break in, retest as resistance, short, boom. And of course, again, yeah, I could have. I'm trying to figure out how I can manage trades. So now I want to be more of a 2R guy. You know, I want to be a 2R guy, a 3R guy. And that means less fear. I have too much. I'm too afraid to lose. And really, losing is the cost of doing business, isn't it? This is Wednesday. And I had these two channels here. Perfect. This white. Double top anti-algo here. And I had this yellow micro algo, which I should have never drawn. This was the start of my two losses. This one can't wick retest, long it. Again, this is, you'll see the similar thing on Friday. It's a very aggressive retest. You should be sticking out, and this algo should have never been drawn. Same thing here, anti-algo, failure. This is when I think I'm starting to get emotional, and I'm losing control of myself, and the quality of my trades are degrading. This trade would have never been taken had I not had, you know, this loss. I feel like if I hadn't taken this trade, this was my first trade of the day, this would not have been my first trade of the day. But my focus and my mentality and my discipline had wavered after this loss, because this was such a painful loss for me. And I made matters worse. You know, you understand that, right? Does that make sense, right? It's sort of this self-destructive, self-fulfilling prophecy that sometimes we throw ourselves into. I had this channel using here, and this, I noticed a lot of OCBNRs this week, one candle break and retest, and I just longed. Nothing too crazy. Again, my stop on my runner should have been above here, below here, and I would have gotten this, but here was where issues started happening. We have this one candle retest like right here, right? And it's literally just like a singular doji, and I just long right there. And I get stopped, I believe, here. And this is also the issue, you know, just stop out here. There's no need. But I keep just doing it lower and lower and lower because I think, okay, yeah, the structure's there, right? And this should have never been a trade. There was no air here. This is just a crazy trend, and it was very impulsive. I remember I was just on Discord, and I saw this, and I took the trade immediately. You can't be trading like that. Come on. What else? This would have been okay. Here? Here? I drew this channel using these two bottom pivots because I was too impatient to actually wait. Had I actually waited, longed here, your stop needs to go below here, and I would have never been stopped. But here I just used this, and it held, and I longed, even though it barely went above, and I got stopped out. This was a double top anti-algo using this yellow channel. That was fine. Friday, very quickly, pivot, 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 pivot. Here was OCBNR potential win, but one candle break with air. But look at the strength of this retest and volume. Right, stay the hell out. So look, let's just talk. I want to talk. I feel like this week I'm walking away red. I'm walking away not a worse trader though, because I feel like it really hit me, the importance of things that I had been, you know, complaining about, but because I had been green, they weren't that much of a priority. And now, because I really struggled with them this week, it made me say, fuck, like shit, I really need to solve this. And that's the goal for this week, is I'm moving into next week, you know, let's get those 2-hour profit targets. I'm not going to be so scared about taking a loss. I want to use a tighter stop, an appropriate stop, still based off structure, but tighter stops. They don't need to be as wide as I've been doing. And I want to focus less so on just winning and having, green and all this stuff, and focus more so on reducing losses, reducing risks, mitigate risks. And I feel like that's going to be a good way for me to find that next level of profitability. And it's a very busy week with life and work. 6 days again, geez, like, come on. But I'm looking forward to this trading week. All right, let's have a good week. Cheers.